Hello Scorpio, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of December 25th through 31st. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to take a look into your general energies. What is it that you need to know? What is going on with you? What is the kind of most important situation that you're in? What is on your mind? What messages are coming through for you? Hierophant card. That's some really good earth energy there. Let's see what messages we get with that Hierophant. All right, really interesting cards. We're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread as we usually do. For our bonus card, confirmation card, I think I want to go with the Ancient Italian Tarot deck. This is pre-shuffled, but I like to just do a random card from somewhere in the middle. And that is going to be our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're not going to look at that until the very end, so stick around. And hopefully that will, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for. Okay. So some fire, some water, some earth, some majors, and then we've got some air and some water. Okay, so it looks like we have a pretty decent mixture. It looks like there's some good balance here. I wonder what is going on with this Hierophant card. I wonder if there's I think there's some kind of organization that you're associated with, right? This might be more of a career thing, okay? We'll start with that and see how it develops as we go. But I think this is the larger organization that you're involved in. Now, this could be the career that you're in, the business that you run. Could be the company you work for. It could be a church, a temple, a lodge, an order, some kind of community organization or charitable organization, right? It's a larger group of people that you're kind of you're joined up with for some kind of greater work, right? So it's just you're contributing something to this group. The group has its own kind of mission and purpose, right? So like a company or some kind of other organization. There's like a shared purpose there. But what we see crossing this, because usually this is a pretty good card. It's showing that you're really part of this group. You're a valuable member of the group. You're contributing a lot. You're helping with this kind of greater mission that this group is on, right? And it could be the company you work for. It could be that simple. But we see crossing that today, the Seven of Swords. I feel like you're trying to just learn what your role is, or you're trying to kind of narrow down your responsibilities or your job description. And there's just so many other things that are pulling you left and right and this way and that way. And you're really never able to focus on what you feel is like your task or your role in this greater organization, right? So I think this week is really about trying to just see where you fit into things, right? Maybe this is something that just started out. This could be something that's relatively new, or maybe not. We'll see. But there is this attempt to focus on what you need to do, what your role is, what you perceive your role to be. But all these other little swords are just kind of picking at you and pulling at you and tearing at you and trying to drag you this way and that way. So it's just a lot of distraction, a lot of kind of additional responsibilities or like side quests, You're trying to focus on the kind of main theme, but there's just so many other little things that you have to do as well that it just seems a little scattered, all right? And the recent past Empress card. I don't know, in this context, I don't quite know what she is doing here. Was this something in the past? Was this some kind of a relationship event or like a personal event that then put you in this position with this larger group of people? It's almost like, did you recently have a kid? Did you recently move somewhere? Or did you recently have to take in, like a family member or something? Yeah, I feel like there's this greater personal responsibility going on too. And maybe that's what we have that Seven of Swords about. Maybe the distraction is really not just confined to this workplace thing, this larger group, this Hierophant thing. Maybe a lot of this additional responsibility or this kind of pushing and pulling of your attention is in your personal life because of whatever this past event was. This could be like a new relationship, maybe a new marriage, maybe moving into a new home with someone, maybe having a child, maybe taking in a family member or taking in a friend, something where you've assumed kind of a caretaker role on someone or something like maybe, of the house or of a spouse, family member. I feel like we're getting into a Dr. Seuss book. So I think this is part of what this distraction is, or not so much a distraction, right? Because that's kind of like downgrading the importance of that. It's just more responsibility, and your attention is being pulled in two different directions. Okay, that's what I see with this Seven of Swords. Okay, it's kind of like the keyword for that card is futility. Okay, so I think the more you try to focus on what your task is at work or in this group, the more it just seems like, God, why do I even try to focus? Because there's a million other things I got to do. So it's like that feeling of futility to try to just focus and get your work done and concentrate because your attention's being drawn in so many different directions. Okay. We're going to go straight to the immediate future of Four of Cups. This is kind of basic, kind of vanilla, kind of just meh. Right? This is not a real solution to the issue. This is you just trying to maintain as well as you can and not get upset by it. It's not worth freaking out over. This is trying to quell that frustration. This is trying to not get upset about all of this scattered energy, the pulling on your attention, the draws on your attention. This is about just trying to anchor yourself, for one thing, right? Try to find the stability, remain calm, just, find some way to release the tension, to release that frustration, and just maintain for now. Okay, this is short-term future, right? This isn't like forever. You got to just be like just anchored and just hope your boat doesn't sink, right? But in the immediate future, I think this is the focus. Just don't let anything happen to the boat. Just keep the boat where it is. Don't head into the storm. Don't let your boat get any damage, right? Just keep it safe, secure, stable. Just try to maintain for now, all right? When we get to the path of the Serpent in just a moment, we'll see what else is going on and what the more long-term outcome could be. What we see above everything, and this is really interesting. I maybe should have gone here a little bit sooner. This is the Art or Temperance card. It's at the top of the path of the Dove. And I think this is you trying to find the balance between the personal and the professional. This is you trying to maintain your responsibilities here and your responsibilities here. Okay, two major arcana cards, two major forces. These are really two different but very important, very significant areas of your life. And you want to give them equal attention. You want to do the best job you can in both areas. And that's what the Art or Temperance card's all about. Finding a way to balance the two. Finding a way to create some sort of harmony where you can maintain, you can feel good and happy and rested and focused and all of that. So you got to maintain your own health and self-care. But you want to find a way to harmonize all of this so that either of these two major areas of your life don't have to suffer from, a lack of your attention. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I see that you kind of have to give 100% to each one of these areas. But how do you do that? Well, that's what this Temperance card, this Art card is all about. It's about finding the strategy. It's really about the art of this, right? The tact, the delicacy, the real you have to get kind of creative with it, right? It's an art, right? In like a literal sense. You have to find the way to just kind of magically blend this together to where somehow it works, right? And And I think this is your focus. This is what you're trying to do, right? Your ideal, highest ideal, the perfection that you can imagine, right? I don't know how close you can get to that perfection, but I feel like that's what you're striving for. And the thing about perfection is the closer we get, the further away the goals. Like it's a moving goalpost, right? But that's where you're focused. That's what you're hoping to achieve. That's what you're striving for. What we see beneath the surface, though, is a little bit different. This is a 9 of Swords. This is some really critical thinking, but self-critical, self-doubting. This is maybe a tendency to let some of this Swords energy, some of this frustration, I think that it goes into your unconscious and it creates these dark moods, this negative thinking, this pattern of self-doubt, self-criticism, a lot of these kind of daggers pointed back at yourself, right? That negative self-talk, really being very critical of yourself. And I think that is it kind of feeds on this aspiration, right? The closer you're trying to get to this ideal, to this goal, right? This perfection, the further away it feels, and then you start getting down on yourself for it. And you start kind of, punishing yourself or torturing yourself with these thoughts of just like, I'm crap, I'm terrible, I'm no good. And that, I think, is an unconscious thing with you, but I think it needs to be brought out to the light. You need to be aware when you do these things, okay? And reach out to any kind of support system that you have when you start having these kinds of 9 of Swords thoughts and feelings and behaviors and this kind of self-doubt and self-criticism. It may help to reach out and talk to someone about that, okay? But at the very least, be aware of that. And do what is necessary for your safety, for your health and well-being, okay? Because, again, right now we're trying to just do the 4 of Cups. We're trying to be safe, secure, stable. Don't sink the boat. Don't take it right into the storm. Just kind of anchor, just chill, just try to relax, okay? Because I don't think this situation is a permanent situation. I think that you're going to get closer and closer to this harmony, and things are going to be okay. This anchoring of the boat is just temporary, okay? It's just to kind of get yourself settled, get a deep breath in, relax for a moment, which is kind of hard to do, right, when you're being pulled in so many different directions. Let's go to the path of the Serpent now. Your general energy is one of worry and frustration. We talked about that already. This is the kind of chaotic nature of your physical world, your day-to-day life, your routines, the literal, the literal manifestation of these two, right? What is the actual situation, the ground beneath your feet, the room that you're in? There's a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of movement, a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty. Things are up in the air. Maybe your kind of nice routine life got shaken up a bit. Okay, that's your general energy. And this is contributing to that frustration that we talked about. Okay, and this is why we need to kind of focus on the 4. I kind of wish we'd have a 4 of discs here, but we don't just now. We've got the 4 of Cups, and that, I think, is to maintain a sense of balance and peace and calm, right, and stability inside of ourselves, even though the external world seems like it's just chaos. Okay? It's about trying to find that moment of quiet and peace and harmony within yourself, even in the midst of all of this chaos, all of this hectic energy. Okay? The next card is 2 of Discs or Pentacles. This is change. This is, again, kind of showing that your life is in the process of this change, right? It's in the process of going from kind of one state to another, maybe that kind of routine, kind of orderly life, that calm life that you had, and now things have been shaken up. Things are in the process of transformation. Okay, and that's why I say that this is kind of a temporary thing, right? Having to just maintain this 4 of Cups is just for now, because you're still in the process of this change, and this change is about you adapting to the circumstances and reaching for your perfection of this Art or Temperance card. But it's also about these events in your life just kind of stabilizing. Once the initial chaos is over, things kind of start to fall into place. A routine gets established. And then that's where we can move on now to next things, to more things, right? And what we're moving on from that, once things get settled, first we have a 10 of Cups. So I think you're moving on to this stage of, God, what if after all of this stabilizes, once this routine, once this transformation is pretty much accomplished and things get into their harmony, into their routine, what if it's just too much and you just don't even want it anymore, right? What if you've had so much of it, you're just full now, right? 10 of Cups, keyword satiety. This is like you just don't want another bite of this sandwich, you know? You've had, it was so overwhelming that now you're just like, I don't even want to look at it, you know? When you overindulge in some kind of food or drink, for a while afterwards, you're like, I don't even want to look at another bowl of ice cream or whatever. It's kind of that same feeling with all of this that's going on. It's just so much all at once, so fast, so chaotic that you're worried now. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I think you have this concern like, gosh, what if when all of this is said and done, I don't have the feeling about it anymore, you know? That's a natural thing to be concerned about. It's kind of, I think that's a normal concern. But what we see just past that concern, over that hump, let's say, right? Because you don't know how you're going to feel when all of this is said and done. So there's no point in really dwelling on that because that takes us right back to that 9 of Swords, okay? But what we see after this hump, after this, things settle, wonderful, beautiful Ace of Wands. This is like, this is a renewed passion. This is something that you find or something that happens for you that is kind of just for you. It's kind of, you're doing all this, you have all of these responsibilities, you're putting all of this effort into stabilizing this new life that's forming in front of you, right? When all of it is said and done, when the harmony gets restored, that routine gets established, you're going to have something new that's just for you. A new passion, a new hobby, some new enthusiasm, some new energy, some new creativity. It's really going to be like there's all of this whirlwind, but it's going to stabilize, it's going to settle, it's going to materialize, and you're going to be at a higher level. And from that higher level, you can really have more opportunities to express yourself, to do what makes you happy, to find your just little piece of happiness, enthusiasm, the little hobby or something that's just for you, right? To fulfill your kind of inner need for that creativity, that expression, that passion, that energy and enthusiasm. Okay. And this Ace of Wands could be that fiery enthusiasm that's going to then be, that's going to permeate all of this other stuff too, right? The personal life, the professional life. It's just this renewed sense of joy and pleasure and excitement, enthusiasm, right? That fiery energy. I think it's all of that. Let's look at the confirmation card, mystery card, bonus card. Ancient Italian Tarot, one of my favorite tarot decks that's out there. Lo Scarabeo made this one. They're not a sponsor, but they could be. Let's see what this is. I like to speculate sometimes on what this is, but we already had that Empress card. I usually say, God, I just want the Empress to show up, please. But she was there early. So what could this be? Maybe that 4 of discs or pentacles that we were talking about. An 8 of discs or pentacles. Okay, that's pretty good too. That's a doubling of the 4, so I was kind of right. Anyway, with the 8 of discs, I think this is showing, again, kind of this idea of, look, just try to anchor yourself, try to find the peace and stability, try to maintain for now. Just pay attention to the details, do things properly, slow down, right? The main thing about the 8 here, if you want to establish this harmony, this routine, this safety, security, stability that we get with the 4s, that we're talking about with the 4 of Cups, and that I was also kind of hinting at with the 4 of discs, right? To get that kind of harmony and stability in the external events, right? If you want that, you've got to slow down. You've got to just take care of one thing at a time. I know you feel scattered. You feel like you're being pulled in 1,000 different directions. You have this tendency to overthink and get down on yourself. But just slow down. Do one thing at a time. This sense of urgency, this sense of like this chaos, this hectic anxiety kind of energy is only going to make things worse, right? You might make a mistake doing something. You might forget your coffee on top of the car, that sort of thing, right? You make little mistakes when you're too rushed, too hurried. Slow down, pay attention to the details, focus on one thing at a time, and try to maintain this 4 energy. Just the stability, the 4 walls, the 4 legs of your chair, it's nothing, the boat's not rocking, it's anchored, stable. Inside you have that peace and calm. Externally, you can try to create as much of this 4 energy as possible. Stay organized, take things slow, unclutter your desk, you know what I mean? Like get your desk organized so that you can try to affect your inner state, right? You can try to establish this 4 of Cups within by creating a 4 of discs in the external world, right? So if we make our external environment orderly, calm, peaceful, less chaotic, some of that's going to rub off and we're going to feel inside more orderly, calm, peaceful, more collected. And that's the message of the 4 or the 8 of discs here, or pentacles. So it's kind of taking the 4 externally to create the 4 internally, right? Because it's the doubling of the 4. And this is a beautiful tarot deck. Anyway, I like this as the confirmation card. I think that's a really strong message, really important message, some practical kind of advice, right? We're going to take a look at this a little bit more in the extended. If you want to stick around, you can become a member to the channel and just click on the link in the description box and you can have access to all of the extended readings that we do. This was your weekly tarot reading for December 25th through 31st on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I'll see you again.